I'm Lisa Rue with Lisa Rue Yoga, and today we're going to fix the knot behind your shoulder blade. I don't know if you've ever gotten that kink behind one shoulder blade. Maybe you've gone to a chiropractor and they've said you have a rib out or something like that. You need to kind of move things around. Here are some things that you can do at home and see if you can take care of it yourself. So you're going to need a therapy ball. Could be a lacrosse ball, tennis ball, maybe if you have a lacrosse ball, maybe wrap it in a sock so it's not too tight. I'm just going to work on the right side. So I'm going to show you what I would do if I had a knot behind my shoulder blade. So I'm going to start with my therapy ball, and I'm going to work from the top of my shoulder blade down. I'm going to show you a couple things to do there, and then we're going to do 4 stretching techniques. So I'm going to start at the very top. I'm going to be in a bridge position, and I'm going to take this ball, and I'm going to trap it between my shoulder, top of my shoulder, and my neck. It's not on my neck. And it's in the very top there. I'm going to rest my head down. So if I reach up, I can actually touch part of this ball. It's not totally behind my shoulder. And from here, I'm just going to lift and lower my hips up into bridge. I'm going to do a bridge lift and a bridge lower. So my feet are in, they're underneath my knees. I have my abs engaged, and I'm just slowly lifting up. And if you press with your feet, I'm just trying to get some pressure onto this ball. And you might want to wiggle around until you get the spot. I've got my spot right now that it really needs some work. I'm going to totally relax my upper body and just lift and lower my hips. Then I'm going to bring my hips down. I'm going to take my right arm. The ball is up above my right shoulder blade, and I'm just going to bring my arm overhead, and I'm going to bring my arm down. So I'm trying to do some fascia release here. I want to get into the connective tissue, drive some fresh blood there, see if we can get anything that's trapped in there out. And we're basically just trying to warm up the area before we're going to get in a big stretch. Now you can add the two together. You can lift your hips, and you can lower your hips. And lift your hips and lift your arm. You might not be able to bring your arm as far overhead as you were able to when you weren't lifting your hips. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Now we're going to take the ball, and we're going to work on the top of the shoulder blade, the middle of the shoulder blade, and the bottom. But we want to work on the side between the shoulder blade and the spinal column. So you never really want to be on a bone, but it's really good and effective to be on the channel kind of right outside the bone. So I'm on the top of my shoulder blade towards the inside of it. And I'm going to rest my left, it's on my right side, I'm going to bring my left hand behind my head, and I'm just going to kind of rock on and off. And I want to think about getting some pressure on and off and just sort of rubbing all along the edge of the scapula, which is the shoulder blade. So it's one thing you can do. You can also rest your head down, and I can start to make movements with my right arm. Now moving my right arm is going to move my shoulder blade. So now I can pin the ball, pin it in one position, and then just move my arm around, kind of working. I'm going to work my way down from the top of the shoulder blade. I'm going to wiggle a little bit. I'm going to keep it towards the inside between my spinal column and my shoulder blade, and I'm going to work it down. I'm resting my head in my hand, or I can rest my head all the way back. You just don't want to have a huge arch in your back. And don't forget to breathe. And I'm going to work all the way down to the bottom of the shoulder blade. I don't have to stay here long. This feels really good. I'm just going to kind of move my arm around. Big inhales and exhales. I'm going to rock weight on it and off of it. So the lower you get on that shoulder blade, it's going to be easier to pin that ball in there. I'm going to kind of chug on and off of that. I'm going to sort of shift my weight on and off of it. Move that arm around. You can kind of do like a funky robot arm. Sort of move it around. Get the shoulder blade to really move around on that ball. All right. You can even get right on top of the shoulder blade and get some big scapular movement in there by moving your elbow all around, getting some big circles. Okay, I'm going to roll to one side, I'm going to press myself up, and I'm going to set that ball off to the side. We're going to do 4 different stretches. The first thing I'm going to do, you can be standing, you can be seated. I'm just going to sit with my hips to my heels, bring my arms out like a goalpost. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades together, tuck my belly in. So I'm not really moving much. You can't even really see what I'm doing. I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together. Then I'm going to wrap my arms around, bring my fingers towards my shoulders back here, bring my chin to my chest, And I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna pull my chest up, bring my elbows down towards my belly. Now my arms are gonna go back like a goalpost. I'm gonna squeeze my shoulder blades together, and then I'm gonna wrap. I'm gonna bring the other arm on top this time, and I'm gonna tuck my chin, and I'm gonna pull with my hands and pull back and up with my shoulders. Let's do that one more time. Open, take a nice big inhale, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and exhale, wrap your arms, tuck, and curl. Okay, so since I'm working on my right side, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm trying to work on the knot behind my right shoulder blade. I'm gonna lie on my left side. Bend my left elbow and rest my head onto my arm. I'm gonna take my right leg and I'm gonna bring it over on top, okay? Because I don't want my low back to move around. I'm gonna take my right arm and bring my hand underneath my rib cage. And from here, I'm just gonna rotate my ribs to the right, and I'm gonna come back. So my ear is on my left bicep, my right knee is down, my right hand is on my rib cage. I'm just gonna take my hand and pull on my ribs gently to come over, and then come back. And come over, and then come back. So it feels good actually on both sides, because I'm wrapping over to the right. And now let's switch sides. So I'm gonna be on my right side, my left knee is gonna be on top, and my left hand is gonna be on my ribs. My right ear is resting on my bent arm. I'm gonna wrap over and sort of pin that lower shoulder blade. So it feels good on both shoulders. I'm just gonna do a couple rotations on each side. Good, so you always wanna come to your side and then press yourself up and come up. Okay. So the third thing we're gonna do is we're gonna be in tabletop. And I'm gonna sit back with my hips back towards my heels. I'll turn slightly sideways. I'm gonna take my left elbow and pin it to my left knee. My hand is flat. I'm gonna bring my right hand behind my ear. Right, we're gonna do this in 3 stages. So I'm gonna start with my elbow down by my wrist. First, I'm going to lift my elbow, my gaze is down. Then I'm going to turn my head, and then I'm going to turn my ribs. And then I'm going to come back to the starting position. I'm going to bring my elbow down towards my wrist. Open your elbow, turn your head to the right, turn your ribs to the right. So that's really pinning that shoulder blade way back. Let's do that one more time. Elbow to the wrist. First, open the elbow, then turn your head, elbows nice and high, draw it back and down, and then turn your ribs. Nice big squeeze behind that right shoulder, right behind that right shoulder blade. Okay, the last thing I'm gonna do, come kind of comfortable seated position, take my left hand, and I'm gonna find where my ribs, kind of in my pec area, sort of connect right here towards my sternum, towards the middle of my chest. I'm gonna take my right hand, I'm gonna raise it up and back, and I'm gonna pull the tissue on my chest in towards my sternum. I'm just gonna sort of move and massage. So my arm's going back, I'm pinning the tissue where the rib meets the sternum. You can go up nice and high, and you can go down a little bit lower. You can open your arm back, open it up and back, and keep breathing. Okay, so that's how to fix a knot behind your right shoulder blade. There's lots of other things that you can do. These are some of my favorites. I hope this helps. Thanks, guys. See you next time.